So I'm here at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe with Elf Lyons.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, amazing, thank you. And your show you're doing is called Horses.
Yeah.
What is the show about,
So
essentially?
it's the first ever comedy show performed by a horse at the Edinburgh Festival.
Okay, that
And-
sounds totally plausible.
Yeah, it is totally
Oh,
possible.
really? Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
fabulous. I love it.
And there's lots of mime and slapstick and clowning and audience participation, but in a nice way, rather than in a mean way. But it's a super physical show,
Really?
super physical show. And it's basically about horses, but also about play and what it means to play.
How did it come? Was it from your love of horses, or is it from play?
No, I'm really allergic to horses.
You're allergic to
I'm
horses?
really allergic to horses.
So this is the complete opposite to
Yeah,
what you
it's
should
really
be.
difficult being in the space of the horse.
Okay.
It came from just, I liked every year going to make a show that is a challenge and things that I don't normally find easy. So this
Sure.
year my goal was physical theatre, like physical full body, non-verbal as it can make it, and audience participation. I find playing with other people really hard. So I wanted to explore that. So those were my goals this year for the show.
Do you think people take enough time in their day to play? Because I think we always see play as being quite a youthful thing. When
Yeah.
you're at school, you've got your playtime. Is it trying to bring a bit play into everyone's everyday?
Because play is one of the most serious ways that we can problem solve, that we work through complex issues. In our brain, when we use our imagination, we play through scenarios, gameplay, role play. We play so much more than people give ourselves credit for. But like you said, we associate it with childishness. But when we say that, we associate it with negativity, with frivolity, with the fact that it's not serious, when actually playing is a really serious thing. And actually, if we played more as human beings, we would be much happier. And I think right now with technology, everyone's on their phones, everyone's only communicating like this. We've forgotten this. We've forgotten that simple, and that's kind of what the show is about.
Absolutely. And do you feel like each audience comes to it very differently? Because everyone's been doing so much different things. To get in that sort of play state and fun, is it quite a difficult challenge for you as a performer?
Yeah, it is. So I'm not doing it because it's easy. I'm doing it because every day it's quite. So the show's also a mixture of lip syncing and verbatim interviews with my family about what it means to play and who you play with and growing up, and if you found it difficult to play, which I really did. So every day it's about forming those connections and looking to an audience. And sometimes saying that we're only on day 3, and every day the show's different. We're finding our keys in the dark.
Nice. And how does horses come into the story?
I'm not revealing anything.
Okay, that's fine. I'll
But
take
did
it.
you ever
I
pretend
shouldn't ask.
to be an animal when you were little?
Oh, I'm sure I did many times.
Yeah?
Nothing springs to mind. But yeah, I think I have definitely had those sort of everyone's animals and let's have fun.
Yeah.
Is that where that sort of comes
Yeah.
from? Yeah?
When you're little and you used to play to be something else.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And have you always been interested in that sort of creative sort of freeness of being a child in a way?
I think so. Well, our job as performers, as artists, is to just get the audience to remind themselves that they're alive and forget about, or for a moment, be aware of everything that's going on. But no, it's okay. We're a community. We're a team. We're herd animals. That's what we are. Human beings. We're meant to be together. So that's our job as artists, is to remind each other that we are connected. So play is naturally a part of that.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Coming to the Edinburgh Festival.
Yep.
How many times have you done the festival?
I've
Is it a
come
few?
every year since I was 18. I first started as a volunteer with the Fringe, so at the Forest Fringe, Forest Cafe, way back when.
Okay.
And then I was a techie at the Gilded, and then I've sort of done everything, really.
So you've literally covered every role.
Covered
within
every basis. I've been around.
Absolutely. How is it now being a performer? Is it quite a difference, from doing all those sort of roles, growing up, is it now being sort of a headline type performer? How is that?
That's really nice. I don't feel like it. I'm always just so happy that anyone's chosen to come to see me. That's an hour of their life. They've bought a ticket, they've gotten a taxi or transport and they've come to see me. It's never to be taken for granted. And when another artist chooses to see your work, that is something to never be taken for granted. None of us are really going to be remembered in 100, 200, 300 years' time. We're all going to turn to dust. I kind of in the nicest way. It's just this moment, this here and now.
It's a shared moment with everyone, an hour to have a bit fun in a way.
basically.
Yeah. And you're also getting involved. You're doing some direction of shows as well at the festival, aren't you?
So I've directed 3 beautiful comedians and their stand-up shows.
Brilliant.
And then I've directed a play as well. So I directed Sam Blythe's Method in My Madness, which is a one-man Hamlet, but like re-envisioned as if it's in purgatory. It's like a clown bouffon, fun, playful version of Hamlet, which is I recommend for families if you've got teenagers or anyone who likes Shakespeare or doesn't actually.
Sure.
A bit of classical fringe theatre. Then we got Amy Matthews on at Monkey Barrel. I've directed her show. I directed her last year and this year again. Ted Hill, who's at Assembly, and then Katie Norris, who's here.
You're so busy.
A busy lady.
Yeah.
I like it though.
No, it's amazing.
And then running around and then also occasionally jumping into other shows and helping them if they need it.
Yeah. And that sort of, like, do you think that comes from, like, being able to, like, so relate to those, like, techies and people running about doing everything? Is that sort of being able to just get up and help when you can?
I just think it's a hard month.
Yeah.
It's really difficult. So if you've got experience and someone emails you and says, hey, I'd love you to see my show, of course you're going to go if you can. And it's nice because I've taught for many years now and led workshops, and it's so lovely being at the festival and seeing so many people who've either done the Soho Labs, which I've taught on, or one of my workshops. It's really lovely to see people making so much different work.
And, like, because you've been doing, like, as a performer, you've got so many years of teaching and seeing those performers now leading shows at the festival. Do you always get young performers come to you and ask, like, how do I get there in terms of the festival? It's quite a scary thing for me.
Yeah. And it's lovely when someone asks that, because then you can try and help It's, I was like that. We were probably like that as well with like journalism. Like, going, hi, I really like, I emailed loads of people. Seeing loads of people coming up to them very politely at the Dome going, I really loved your show. And sometimes people were really friendly and sometimes people were really rude.
Yeah.
So it's about making sure someone's come up to you to ask a question, trying to give them as much love as possible.
Absolutely.
It's my...
Because we're all that, go back to your theme of your show, we're all that little child at the start, we're trying to grow and do something.
We're all little. Even like a 73-year-old man, still, their childhood wasn't that long ago to them. Your childhood, it's all recently.
Absolutely.
We still live in that memory, so we treat everyone with kindness. It's my mentality.
I love it. No, it's a great way to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's meant to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, this is meant to be fun.
Yeah, of course. It is a fab festival for that. I think the good thing about the Fringe as well, it's just so spontaneous. Like, there's so much going on. There's so many different things. I think that's why it's a draw to people from around the world, because you never know what to expect one day to the next.
No. But you wake up every morning going, oh God, I've got to do another show. Oh God, where have I got... And the main thing of Fringe is, where have I got to be?
Yeah.
You're walking somewhere and you go, I'm meant to be somewhere. Where am I meant to be? And then you look at your phone and you're like, oh... And then you have to run.
I've missed that.
Oh,
Run.
God. And then even though there's so many shows on, there's always this moment where you look at your phone and go, I have no idea what to see. I don't know where to go. There's nothing on.
Yes.
There's a moment of the day where you're like, there's nothing on.
Yeah, there's nothing at all.
You're in that weird 5-minute gap where everything's either just started or is about to, and you can't get there. You're like, what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a scheduling nightmare sometimes, isn't it, the festival? I know you're saying that you've done that sort of teaching and people have come to the festival now. Is there any performers that you'd like to highlight to see their shows, essentially?
I mean, obviously the ones that I've directed,
Yeah, of
because
course.
I feel very, really proud of them. Oh my goodness, my brain has turned to mush. There's so many beautiful clowns. Actually, what I will say is if you go on my website, www.elflyons.com, I've published a list of lots of shows and artists that I would recommend you see, and I've split it into like clowns, stand-up. Sean Davies is one that comes to my head, is a brilliant stand-up comedian, wonderful. Keris Bradley, they're brilliant. There's so many,
When is your show happening?
So it's 9:20 every day at Pleasance Courtyard in the Above.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And you're also, what's the other ones you're doing directing-wise? You've got...
Method in My Madness at Assembly, Ted Hill at Assembly,
Yes.
Katie Norris at Pleasance, and Amy Matthews at Monkey Barrel.
I thought I'd have to try and get that last little bit for you, just to make sure. Thank you so much, Elf Lyons. Horses?
Horses, yes.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So lovely to meet you too.